Welcome to Yury Experience, and today I want to talk to you about downsides of moving. I moved quite a lot. I lived in 4 countries. I lived in Ukraine, Russia, Germany, in USA, and also I traveled a lot, but that's not really important here. I lived in different countries, I created my life in different countries, and then I had to leave it. And although living in different countries provided me a lot of valuable experience, which I wouldn't gather otherwise, and that learned me a lot about life, about differences in people, about different kinds of experiences, and also it learned me a lot of new skills, but still there are some things where you cannot not acknowledge the fact that these things are downsides. That is what makes your life more difficult, I would say like that. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. About my negative experiences with moving around, if you want to call it like that. And I don't want to tell you way too many of these, but I will tell you three main negative experiences that I had throughout my moving around the world. The first, the most obvious one, which is also kind of a root or something that connects all of 3 reasons, is losing contact to people. I think it is kind of obvious if you move from the place where you normally talk to people to another location. Although we have so much of social media, so many social medias which help us to stay in contact, stay in touch, or you can write an email, you can write on Facebook, you can watch what kind of photos that person posts on Instagram. It is different, you know. It is really different from really being able to talk to person like face to face. And also when you are not having this opportunity to meet and spend some time together on a regular basis. When you don't have that opportunity anymore, most of the contacts, most of the bridges that you build, they start to destroy themselves, because all types of connections need to work on them from both sides normally, and both of the people try to develop connection in order for this connection to stay up strong. But the more distance is between 2 points, the harder it is to build a really strong bridge between these 2 points. Which is why, it is an obvious reason when you move from place to place, it is not as easy to stay in touch with a person anymore. At least it was in my experience. I'm not the most social person, but I did know, I will call it like that, I did know a lot of people. But after some time, that person has other interests, and that person does something else, and that person is not on social media, for example, and you lose different contacts, different people all over the places, and some people, some small groups of people remain, but big amounts, they go away. The second thing, you miss special occasions of your friends, of these people who remained your friends. So for example, you have a lot of people that you know in some place, then you move to another place, and obviously you lost some contacts, but some people remained, like 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter, but some people remained and you really value them because they're your friends, the contact remained strong, the bridge is still there. But then what you need to understand, there's high probability of something important happening to that person, or something important happening in that person's life. You will miss it. You will not be able to live through that with that person, because some of the things happen unexpectedly. Some of the things you can't really think and write and invite person, oh, can you come here? For example, wedding. Wedding is actually a good example of how people who don't really in close contact anymore, but still value each other, how they show the fact that I value you, I invite you to my wedding, in my personal opinion. And still, due to the fact that I moved around and because of my financial situation, I wasn't able to be on 2 weddings of 2 my close friends. So 2 separate weddings. And it is a pity, because that day was really important for both of these people, but I wasn't there. I wasn't able to be there. And I'm not sure how much it hurt them, because they knew they could see that happening, but it hurts me even more, because I want to be part of their life and especially be part of that special occasions in their life, but I cannot. And here we are talking about a planned occasion, about wedding, but there are a lot of unplanned occasions where I wouldn't say you want to be part of. Sometimes you want to be part of, for example, when the first child is born, or second child is born, or any child is born, or some sad occasions, some relative died, some close relative died, and you cannot provide support because you are freaking, I don't know how many kilometers away. You cannot help. You miss these occasions. And yeah, that is what you need to recognize. I recognized it the first time in my life when I came back. I was, I think, 14 or 15. I visited a friend of mine of that time back in Ukraine. I came back to Ukraine from Russia. I visited a friend of mine, and he told me that good friend from the street where I was growing up, he has a child now. And that's the moment where it clicked. I will never be able to live through that person through that moment with that person again in my life. I missed it. Without the ability to regain it, without the ability to relive it, without the ability to do it, to still do it, I missed it completely. And I was kind of sad. I was sad about it. But now I assume I got used to it a little bit, but still on some special occasions where some big things are happening, it still hurts me to understand that I will not be able to be there for people. The third thing is connected to the previous ones, and it is not being able to just jump in a car and be by a friend in like 2-3 minutes, or I don't know, 1 hour. No, you need to jump in a plane, fly for, I don't know, 10 hours, and then you will be there. That fact that distance is still such a strong word, it's still nowadays, it doesn't matter, social medias have helped a lot with solving of this problem of distance, of making people to feel a little bit more used to distance between people, and helps them to stay in contact, to speak to talk to each other, doesn't matter where you are from. But still, as I told you already, there are a lot of occasions there where you would prefer to be personally there, present. Or also, you need to recognize the fact that personal meetings, so meetings met face-to-face, are different than social media interactions, or I don't know, messaging interactions. That is why the missing of this opportunity to just jump in a car or jump on a train and be there, like in 1 hour at its latest, it makes you to revalue what you put on what kind of priority, how high is priority of each interaction. What are you ready to do for that or another person? Are you ready to literally buy a ticket which is overpriced and be there, like, I don't know, in 3 days, which is the fastest you can do? But you still cannot be there this evening. Or you will pay a little bit less and be there in a week. How important is that person to you? And also you need to recognize that you cannot help anybody that day. Like, it is impossible. Because I cannot be in Russia during the same day. It is possible, but it's highly complicated and very expensive. I cannot do that. Yeah, you need to understand that this, so I had to understand this, not what you need to understand, what I had to understand, that this distance as long as physics of the world is as it is, this distance will not go away. I will not get or gain the opportunity to be there faster. Even if I will get a private jet, it still will not help. And I don't want to have a private jet anyway. Moving from place to place is different experience for every person. These experiences were my experiences from me moving around. If you have any other experiences, maybe some other downsides or maybe some other upsides to moving, write them in the comments. I will be more than happy to read about them, because it's nice, and I wrote it about my previous videos too. It is a nice feeling when you understand that you are not alone with that problem, with that kind of situation, where there are other people that live through the same things and they survive and they live and strive. Yeah, it is a good feeling. And on the other hand, what I also want you to not to forget, even though there are a lot of downsides to moving around or travel around, there are also a lot of upsides. As I told you at the very beginning, I learned a lot which I wouldn't be able to learn if I would stay in one place, if I would still live in Ukraine or in Russia. The more you travel around, the more you see, the more you learn, and I value that. I value that a lot. But although I value that, I also see the downsides of the situation, and I'm not one of these people. Look only on the bright side, look only on the good side and forget the bad side. No, I do prefer to look on the both sides. I do recognize that my good side is way bigger than my bad side, but that bad side still exists. Yeah. That bad side still exists. I don't know what to tell you anymore, so yeah, good luck if you want to move around. Move around. Just recognize you will have a lot of good and some small bad. That's pretty much in everything in this life. Yeah, good luck. I think you know where's the like button. I think you also know where's the comment section. If you have any questions or topic suggestions, you can write them in the comments below. Except for that, if you want to watch more videos about social topics, about self-development, about my development and about the development of the channel, you can subscribe to the channel. And except for that, I see you on Thursday.